Edelstein with you live here on Facebook, or perhaps you'll see this later as a recording. Good for you. Tonight's episode will be a little experimental. I'm going to wander afield of the mindful communication zone to talk a little bit about faith, which is not necessarily my strong suit, but I'm going to try and tie this all together at the end. We'll see how this goes. You'll watch me do this live and in person. So when we speak about faith, very often people associate this with religion. What's your faith? Well, my faith is Judaism or Islam or Catholicism, Christianity. That's not your faith. That's your religion. Faith is the ability to be sure, to be in some level certain that things will turn out the way they're supposed to turn out. It's not necessarily optimism. That can be your faith, that everything will turn out for the best. That's some people's faith. You don't have to believe that necessarily to have a more limited faith that everything will turn out the way it's supposed to turn out. That the world is an orderly place in that sense. That perhaps we as individuals are not capable of predicting everything, but that things will work out the way they're meant to work out. That if we put forward certain kinds of effort, we'll get certain kinds of results back. If we head down a certain pathway in life, we'll arrive at the destination we're meant to arrive at. So if we're going to use a definition of faith like that, this sense that things will work themselves out, things will work out in a proper manner if we follow our destiny, if we follow our road, if we make decisions, and then things will have a good chance of working out the right way. How does that connect to mindful communication? Well, we need a certain amount of faith that when we enter into communication with someone, that this communication is going to produce a worthwhile result, that we're communicating with a purpose. We're not just blathering words into the air. The other person is not doing that either, that there's an attempt to connect. There's an attempt to exchange information in a way that will produce a good result. That we have the faith that we're participating in this communication game to produce connection, to produce understanding, that what we're doing here has a purpose, and that if we play the game by the rules, if we're clear and honest in our speech, if we listen carefully and with a good will, with the faith that we and the other person are trying to be transparent with the other, that this will produce the connection that we seek, that this is the way that we will gain understanding of some other person in this world, that we will not simply be living in an emotional desert where we stumble along alone, but that through the use of language, communication, listening, that we will be able to achieve understanding. This is our faith. This is where faith and communication overlap. So there, on a slightly heavier note than normal, I'll let you think about what you believe will happen the next time you talk to somebody. where do you think you will go? Good evening. Great to see you, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Good night.